All right. Let everybody go ahead and find a seat. So welcome to 2019. It's just been amazing. I love the energy. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So in my 11 years with the bank, I can't remember a year where we've went into with so much momentum. So I can't thank each of you enough for the work that you do day in, day out. This time of year is always fun to look back and say, wow, what did we accomplish? We started January and we end at December 31st, and Margie counts the numbers, but when you get aside from the numbers and actually look at the activities that we're doing to advance the key initiatives in the bank, it's very, very impressive. So this should be a great meeting. We've got a reception planned afterwards. So I just want to thank Rob and Angela. Will you stand? For helping coordinate. Thank you so much for your work. So the way this is designed is we're going to do a little fireside chat format this year. Instead of a formal presentation, I really want you to hear from a lot of our leaders in terms of all the cool initiatives and the work that's being done and the key priorities in the bank, which are really important. Then we're going to have a reception afterwards, so take the time to enjoy that time and get to know folks. And before we get into the formal meeting, just so you have some names and faces, I want to introduce the SLT, so if you would stand, please. I'll just, over here, Jeff Schmidt, Chairman, CEO. Next to him, from Naples, Florida, the President of our Private Wealth Group, John Clark. Our Chief of all trades, our Chief Administrator, Mr. Reed Adamson, Omaha. Our Chief Yes Officer, John Cox. Our Chief Lending Officer, Tim Sullivan. General Counsel, Jean Twellman. Queen of all things, Margie Heller. Terry Keneally, President of Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, Synergy One. Matt Minshow, our Chief Deposit and Payments Officer from Omaha. Ellen Datata, President of Community Association Bank. And our Talent, Learning, and Culture Masteress, Miss Roseanne Newmeyer. So thank you all. So during the reception, if you don't work with one of the SLT members on a daily basis, come up to us and let us know what's on your mind, good or bad. This evening is for each of you, and we want to celebrate your successes with you, and we want to hear from you in terms of, how are we doing relative to, the things that we need to do to deliver on behalf of our clients and for each other. Those things are really important. And before we jump into the slides, also, we've got Barry back here on AV and Jeff on the camera. Thank you, gentlemen, for your work. Wouldn't this be a really cool place to watch the Super Bowl? Especially if it was that team from Kansas City, but we'll see. It's been 50 years, so I know there's a mixed message there. So, well, why don't we go ahead and get into a few of the slides. Oh, wait, this isn't the slide. This is a cigar. It says, "It's a girl." Regan Hunt, 5 days old. Congratulations, Dalen, you and your wife. So, very, very excited Dalen could join us tonight. We were kind of working through our business continuity plan and said, okay, well, if he gets called, who's going to step up on our financial performance fireside chat. So glad Dalen can make it. I want to share with you just some of the basics and, frankly, just amazing things that have been accomplished in the bank. If you look at this chart, into 2016, our pre-tax net income was $65 million. Our plan through 19 more than doubles that pre-tax. And so when you start to do the easy math on this, it's 35% average growth. That's pretty darn amazing. And if you take a look at that shaded blue area, that's really the mortgage contributions. And that's primarily drives our fee income in the bank. So, Margie does a great job kind of talking about performance peer group and regulatory peer group. And, 9 out of those 10 categories that are key financial metrics, we're at or above our peer. which is amazing. The one we're missing on is the non-interest income, and that's what really inspired us relative to, okay, the opportunity to buy Synergy One Mortgage. We welcome the BBMC folks. That was just an incredible strategic move, because now if we successfully execute our 19 plan, when we bring that home, we'll be 10 out of 10 on our financial performance relative to our regulatory peer group. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, one of the things, before we go to the next slide, that when you think about the growth, it takes people, a plan, a vision. When we started the year, we had 857 associates. When we ended 2018, we had 1,997 associates in this company. So just an amazing effort. And this morning we were in a meeting with our market development team, and Roseanne kind of turned to me and she goes, "Dwayne, I have never felt better." And I was like, wow. So so if you were involved on bringing on board, welcoming new 1,000 associates to the company, will you please stand? Oh, come on. There's IT, there's phone, there's facilities. I mean, come on, you're a humble bunch. But that was just an amazing effort to be able to pull off, and to have a smile on your face and said, "I've never felt better." Just it really sets a great example when you think about casting the shadow of a leader like Roseanne. So thank you all for your efforts with that. The other thing that I think is important when you have this type of growth, we talk a lot about our client development. We've got our Rays in town for the Ray Conference. So we've got our mortgage folks out there with clients. But some of the unsung heroes in banking, and it really makes up about 25-30% of our team, are the folks that, could you imagine going to the office and not having a computer, not having software, or not having a telephone? The folks that help make us do and deliver every day in our IT and IS, will you please stand? So thank you for everything that you do, because I know when my computer login isn't working and I'm down for like a minute, I mean, I miss their patience, right? So the things that you do to help support what the company does is very, very amazing. So thank you very much. All right, the next slide. When you take a look at the last 3 years, we've had an average annual growth just in revenue of over 10%. And obviously, that really spikes when you start to layer on the non-interest income. So again, we're heading into 2019 with more momentum than we have in the company's history. So I'm really excited. So when you do those things well, what does that end up? Well, a lot of green on the scorecard, which is awesome. So again, 2019, we'll have those primary 4 perspectives, putting our clients first, working on really a lot of cool processes and improvements, technology. Those things are pretty amazing, but it all starts with you. And so talent to us is, engaging and creating a high-performance team. You're going to hear from some of the co-chairs of our leadership task force on the things that we're doing to improve those. So just some amazing work being done. In March, we had a leadership conference that consisted of about 160 associates all across the enterprise come together. And we did our leadership conference a little different than what we've typically done. We did a lot of breakout sessions with 20, 30 folks in a room, seriously, just getting their chairs together in a corner and talking about what matters. How do we advance the company? And what we've done is we created really 4 key task force that it all starts with the client. So how do we deliver on behalf of the client? How do we inspire our associates to be so excited to deliver on our behalf? So we've got the EX and CX, which Jeff, a couple of years ago introduced CX and EX. And when you think about that infinity sign, it doesn't matter where you're at, it's all connected in terms of delivering on behalf of a client, treating our associates well, giving them the tools to be successful, and then some of the technology and the things you'll hear from Henry on the delivery transformation are really, really cool. And then when you do those things well, with the insights that Dalen and his team do relative to client data, insights, you get great financial performance, and we really advance, as you saw from 2016, where we broke over the median. And we're headed to the top quartile, folks, so I'm super excited. But with no further ado, I'd like to go ahead and welcome our co-chairs of our Leadership Task Force up to the stage. Chris Kruger, she is co-chairing with Jake Munn, our Client Experience team. Go ahead and come on up. Lewis Robinson, our EX, he's co-chairing with Jared Israel. And Henry Schwery on Delivery Transformation, and Dalen Hunt on Financial Performance. So well, let's go ahead and start with Client Experience. So Chris, tell me a little bit about the task force that you and Jake are leading. Tell me a little bit about what the team's doing and where the priorities are.
Sure. So as Dwayne mentioned, back in March, we had a leadership conference, and we all came together, and we did a lot of discussion about what's working well with the client experience and where we have some opportunities for improvement. And as we know, we always have opportunities for improvement. So we got together, Jake and John and myself, and we worked on some things that were some quick wins, and then some things that were some longer-term solutions for the process. And then we came up with a great team of stellar change agents that have really been coming together. We had a meeting all in person in October here in Phoenix and worked through what we thought were really the key things that we needed to work on to make this really a true, the client experience that we all want to be able to provide. Because as we know, it's not just about us being friendly or being nice to our customers when they come in or call. We do a great job at that. And we have awesome people, as you mentioned. The EX and the CX, they have to be intertwined. They have to go together because otherwise it's not going to work. But there's a whole process of what needs to be done in order to make a true client experience great. And that has to do with thinking about what happens the first time that a client gets in contact with us, whether that's through the e-channel or whether it's through calling us, coming into a branch, however they want to get in touch with us, we want to make that the best experience that we can. So we kind of worked through that whole process, and we're going to be doing in our long-term solutions more journey mapping, which has to do with taking a look at that process all the way along the way to say, where is it possible for us to have some better improvements? Where can we, where do we need to make sure that we continue to do some of the things that we're doing? And where can we think outside of the box a little bit and maybe do things a little bit differently?
Yeah, super. So Chris, when you look at the key tactics in the short term, what are some of the key deliverables in terms of understanding really how we're performing in our clients' minds?
So that's a great question. Hey, if we want to know how our clients think we're doing, why don't we ask them? I mean, that's a great concept, right? Seems really simple, but how else do we really know? So there has been a lot of work being done in certain markets to bring together some client advisory boards. We already do that very well in the cab space, and we know how valuable that has been to that business unit and how much they have gained from those insights from our clients. So we decided, let's expand that. Let's go further and gather all different clients from all different areas. So we know we do mortgage, we do retail, we do commercial, we do all of those different areas. So let's make sure that we're tapping into those clients in that area and make sure that we know what they truly want.
That's super. So in the long term, what are the things that each of us could expect relative to how we intertwine this and to our daily activity and just our culture?
Absolutely. So I'm kind of a culture geek, as you know. So to me, that's the right term, is our culture, and how do we make this part of and ingrain it into our culture and make it part of our everyday lives. So one of the things that we have been working on with Roseanne and her team is to put this into our scorecard. How do we make sure that each and every one of us understand how important our jobs are and how we touch our clients every day, whether we ever speak to them or not? we are impacting our clients every single day in everything that we do, whether it's IT, whether it's the operations, whether it's people that actually are taking calls or in the branches. We have a huge impact on our clients. So let's make sure that we all understand that that's part of our performance goals, that we need to make sure that we're hitting those targets, what those targets are, and then that we're hitting them. So that's one of the main things. And then the journey mapping, again, was one of the more longer-term solutions. It's going to take us a while to go through all of our processes and procedures and really make sure that we're hitting on every one of them and making sure that they're more efficient. And then technology is definitely another one that comes to mind because, you know, we have some great technology. We have others that's been around for a while that we may need to upgrade. We have some things that we haven't even touched on yet that may be some great solutions.
Well, super. Well, thank you very much, Chris, for your leadership. Jake Munn, the co-chair's in-house too, and John Clark. Thank you so much for the efforts there. We know anybody that's been around here for a while knows it's a journey, and it's just amazing to take a look at putting the fingerprints on this company because each of you have helped build this. Let's just take a little snapshot, Barry, if you would roll Excel Property Management. Let's just see how we're doing based in the eyes of one of our clients.
My name's Jeremy Clark. I am the president of Excel Association Management. Excel Association Management is a family business. My dad started the company, my stepmom works here, I work here, I have two brothers who work here, but beyond that we have 20 employees. Many of them have been here for 20 years, 15 years. So when we talk about a family business, we're talking about relationships. We also extend that to our clients. You know, we're really looking for trying to meet the needs of our clients and to provide solutions that help them get to where they're going. We started with Mutual of Omaha Bank 15 years ago. Our relationship with Mutual of Omaha Bank is far more than a banking relationship. It really is like a technology partner and a service partner for our clients. They recognized that there was a need within the industry for automated payment processing and developing new payment delivery options. If we don't adapt to technology, we become a dinosaur. We're not only a property management company, we are a technology company today. Working with Mutual of Omaha Bank for Excel for us is important because of the relationship. We have terrific service, they have terrific products. With Mutual of Omaha, there's been a real commitment to building that kind of a system and that relationship and actually coming up with solutions that physically actually work.
So that's a generational business. Jeremy's has taken over the family business. The family's intertwined, but the things that he said and the vision that Chris just set forth in the conversation of where our priorities are, did you see any overlap? Listening, developing solutions. So I think we're on to the right track here. There's a lot of work to do, but I'm so excited because Chris and Jake, that team is empowered to take the actions necessary to blend and melt that into our fabric of our culture in all of our activities. Lewis, let's go ahead and move to employee experience. Tell me the latest initiatives and focus of the group.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. So at the leadership conference, we had a great chance to listen to a group of leaders who gave us a lot of feedback around the employee experience, and that varies far and wide. But one of the resounding messages we heard was that the new employee and new associate onboarding experience, that varies wildly as well. From things like getting new technology to the challenges we have, time constraints of leaders, we have different business units and different geographical locations to deal with. So we thought, with the direction of Roseanne Newmeyer, we thought we would hone in on the new employee onboarding experience, and we sort of have 3 different areas of that. So what we've done so far, with the help of a fantastic team, so from TLC we have Angela Henry, Marina Pudi in IT, we've got Ryan Maloli, Maria Pauly is also helping us with this, and then Jody Wright's in training, and that'll come in the importance of having training on our site here in a moment. So what we first set out to do was create a concise new employee onboarding guide. It's a one-pager. It helps walk through everything from before you start here with the company, day 1 expectations, up through 2 weeks, 30 days, 45 days, 90-day checkpoints. And that way, you can really help your employee hit the ground running. Right here, we attract and we hire fantastic talent. And the best talent expects to have an organization that supports them and helps them hit the ground running. So as part of that new employee onboarding companion guide, we've also supplemented some new welcome material. We are going to put the senior leadership on the spot and ask them to record some new media material for us, some welcome messages, so we can really sort of decentralize the orientation process across our different geographical locations. People can get a flavor for the culture, the strategy, the credit culture of the bank, regardless of where they're located. So we have new welcome material to go in with that. And then to build upon that, we're going to pilot some targeted training material. We started with lending. Jared Israel knows quite a bit about banking, and so he's targeted in there to help new lenders and credit folks understand our culture and acumen there. And we're going to use that as a template to help other business areas provide targeted learning. The new employee onboarding experience is really a manager's responsibility primarily. Of course, human resources cares quite a bit as well. But we've talked about some of the constraints of that situation. Managers can be busy, their calendars can be pretty full. So we would like to bring out here soon, this is where we need help from all of you. We're going to pilot an ambassador program. We'd like to basically have a peer resource that can aid in bringing on new people. They're going to get trained in the same type of companion guide that is available to the managers. So they'll supplement the manager resource, but then when a new associate doesn't want to go to their manager or wants to turn to someone right in a desk right next to them and ask them, hey, how do I navigate the HR system? How do I send a VIP? Guess what? I'm not really sure how to ask for time off. That's little logistics, right? But if they're also embedded within your business unit, they're also going to know the culture of how you operate, different people you need to talk to. And not only that, we're going to make sure these people share the culture and they're aligned with the strategy. So from day one, a new associate can really understand what Mutual Omaha Bank's all about.
Wow, I don't think there's anything that you didn't cover there. That's just an amazing experience. Yeah, it's just incredible. So when you think about the geography, that's difficult to maintain consistency. And the reality is when somebody joins an organization, they make their mind up pretty quick. That first 30, 60, 90 days in terms of validating their decision. Did I make a good decision, or am I a little scared or hesitant on that? So really appreciate those efforts. When we look out further into the strategy and the roadmap of the employee experience, what are some of the keys there that are going to be very important?
So what we started to do now in the short term is we've rolled out the onboarding guide to a few managers. I've selfishly used it myself. It's been fantastic to help me go through a checkpoint. And so that was the first step. So next we'll be getting feedback in front of a larger group of managers, getting a nice feedback session going with people. So we'll invite people into meetings, do WebExes, that type of thing, and then fine-tune that. But the ambassador program is really the crux of what we're trying to do here. That's the larger effort. And so with the help of Jody Rice, we'll be putting together a training program. We'll be recruiting ambassadors, people who want to either help out around the organization, really share the culture, and then from there we'll roll that out. And so that's really the next steps for the group.
That's exciting. So thank you very much, Louis, for you and Jared's leadership with the task force. Is there anybody here that joined the organization like 2 days ago or less? Go ahead. This is Jason Livingston. He's our new Chief Information Officer. Welcome, Jason. We hope it's a great experience for you. So we're all looking forward to working. We've got a great team, and we're looking forward to some of your wisdom and experiences to share with the team as we move forward. We had a brave soul willing to do a little video on his experience. He's been here with the organization a little over a year. So Barry, would you go ahead and roll it?
Hi, my name's Adam Hartung, and I am with Mutual of Omaha Bank. And here's a little bit about me. I grew up in Nebraska in a real small town up in the northeast corner of the state. There's probably more people in this office than in that town. I think we're down to 60 now. But after leaving home, I moved down to Omaha, and I've been in the Omaha and Lincoln area ever since. Outside of work, my hobbies is wrangling my kids. They definitely keep us busy, and if I'm not chauffeuring and I get a little bit of time to myself, I like to get out and play a little golf. I'd say what motivates me at work is providing an experience for my clients that I'm invested in their business. When the opportunity came to work for Mutual of Omaha Bank, I saw it as a step to be involved in an organization that is still fairly young. The direction and the vision that the bank has allowed me to come in and be a part of something that I think is fairly special. I'm Adam Hartung with Mutual of Omaha Bank, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.
That's awesome. Doesn't he look great on camera? He's just amazing. So there you go. They're intertwined, that infinity sign. You heard what Adam said, what drives him, delivering a great client experience. So let's treat our people well, let's onboard them well, and let's allow them to listen and learn and serve our clients well. It's just a continuous infinity sign. Henry, let's go ahead and move over to delivery transformation. What's new with the group?
Can you guys hear me? Lots of exciting things in the digitally transformation area and the task force. We've been working on a lot of things around really making it easy for our clients to bank with us. I mean, that's what it comes down to, is how can we make it easy to bank with us? Customers can bank wherever, whenever, however they want, and that's really the key to this. So our focuses, our real main initiatives are online banking and mobile banking and social media. Right now, mobile banking, it's only 10% of our online banking customers use it right now. So there's a huge opportunity there to really increase the usage of mobile banking. And we know that mobile banking obviously is a very, very sticky product. So it's something that, when they're doing mobile banking, online banking, bill pay, they're going to stay with us for a very, very long time. So that's really one of our biggest focuses, is increasing that. Social media is the other one. When we started, we've doubled our social media followers. Social media is really important around reputation, brand. It gives us touch points with our clients, which is important. So it's right now with Facebook, for instance, we've got only 1,000 followers, but we've got 2,000 employees. So it's kind of interesting. Like our employees haven't even gone out and liked the page yet. So if you haven't, please do that.
Yeah. Get your plug in right now.
Yeah.
There's 400.
So we've been working hard on that and doing really well with that. So
Super. So tell me, Henry, a little bit about some of the short-term objectives and deliverables around delivery transformation.
So the short-term initiatives really with the mobile banking, we've done some online marketing to really drive people to the websites around mobile banking, how to use it, and that's worked really well. And then we've done some social media campaigns as well to drive people again to social media, to our website, and so that's worked really, really well to help increase that. Longer term, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening behind the scenes right now. We've got DocuSign coming out soon, which is going to be digital loan signing, which is going to just be super, super convenient for the clients and employees. We've got Salesforce. We've got Power BI, which will be a great tool that will replace Dashboard to really give us some real-time data and client insight. So there's a lot on the technology front that's happening behind the scenes that is really going to help our client experience and employee experience as well.
That's super. Well, Henry, thank you so much for your leadership and Amber Cameron with this group. It's really important. So we talked about the leadership conference and some of the insights there from our leaders, but something that we do frequently, as you know, is we poll each of you through the Connexa survey, and there were some weaknesses that we needed to really address in that Connexa survey around having the tools to deliver on behalf of our client. Are we easy or not to do business with? And those results were not where they need to be in that top performing quartile that we're all trying to aspire to. So thank you again. These are very, very important. One of the digital transformation that's been a major investment and really a competitive advantage has been our mobile digital payment. And Matt was sharing with me on the way out here, we had about 86,000 people subscribe to the MDP. And we had another 100,000 actually test it, want to use it, but not necessarily to subscribe yet. So kind of do the test drive before they do. So this next video will tell you about a major delivery transformation and really one of the things that sets the company apart. So Barry, will you go ahead and roll the next clip?
Mutual Pay Property Pay is Mutual of Omaha Bank's solution to providing new ways for homeowners to make payments. The goal...
Oh, we got Alan. Why don't Alan just come up and
to our
talk?
communities and give them the latest way for you to pay your annual assessment.
So,
The payment industry has evolved tremendously from where it started. And Mutual of Omaha Bank's commitment to that industry is to continue to find the latest solution for the new breed of homeowner that's moving in. The days of writing a check and sticking it in an envelope and mailing it in with a coupon statement are wonderful for the lockbox industry, but they are fading. And our commitment to our clients and the industry itself is to make sure that we're providing the best solution. Mutual Pay Property Pay does that. As the payment industry changes, we will remain relevant in that space, and we will continue to find the latest and greatest ways that people want to pay their bills. And we'll make sure that they're available for our clients. Integration is a big piece of the puzzle for us as we move forward. There's two partners that are really critical to that component. One, your accounting software. Two, your bank. Mutual of Omaha Bank is committed to stay relevant with the API technology that's out there to ensure we have the best integration in the industry. Our goal at the end of the day is to provide a payment solution for our clients that rivals what we've been able to do in receivables. Whether it's the traditional lockbox of somebody writing a check and putting a coupon in an envelope and mailing it into us, to somebody who wants to use their phone, we will provide the latest and greatest solutions, and our commitment is to evolve with that. Who knows where the future goes, but Mutual of Omaha Bank will ensure that we will provide the solutions your homeowners need to make their payments.
Awesome. So we were just testing a little bit with that. So it takes tenacity to make these things happen and work smooth every day. So thanks, Alan. Thanks for the MVP. Hundreds of folks in the organization have really focused on this. But it all started with something that Chris said. This came out of the advisory board. Listening to and understanding really the needs of the industry. And then you heard from Jeremy Clark with Excel Property Management. Real solutions at work. This is a real solution that is setting us apart. So I'm really excited about it. Dalen, let's go ahead and turn to the financial performance team. So, Dalen's group is working with a lot of data, insights, and those things help us to make decisions. So, Dalen, tell us a little bit about the task force and your key initiatives.
Sure. In thinking about the future direction of the bank's reporting, I can't help but reflect on the old days of reporting and how much of the reporting was being done in silos. We have having two different but similar reports tie out took nothing short of divine intervention. Most of our reporting was geared towards current or as of data, but we know that really the value add comes from the analytics that's getting derived from the data.
So what are some of the key things in the short term that our associates could expect in terms of just the connectivity between data accuracy and the information reports that are provided?
Sure.
What are some of the key?
To go over some of the analytics capabilities, I like to break it down into 4 different types. One is descriptive, what happened and why. Real-time analytics, what's happening right now. Predictive analytics, what do we think is going to happen in the future, and then prescriptive analytics, how can we make X, Y, Z happen? So one thing that we have done is we created some cross-sectional teams of some data stewards, if you will, and so with those teams, we can make some of these decisions not in silos, but collectively as a group.
Very good. So in the long term, what are some of the things that the group is discussing as far as the roadmap around just the data analytics and the financial performance?
Sure. Well, I don't think that data will ever fully replace, common sense or gut instinct, but I do think that it's going to be an irreplaceable and strategic asset in the corporate arsenal. Mm-hmm. As we continue to leverage and democratize the data, I think that it's imperative also that we have structure and rules around that data, where data governance comes into play.
You bet. Well, when you think about the 4 task force here and how important these are, this is our secret sauce here, folks. When you think about some companies, they don't listen to their clients very well. They have a product to sell, so they just push the product. Some companies have a great employee experience. You play ping pong all day, and you can play, all kinds of games and go into the Zen room. And then, in other companies, great technology companies, but not a lot of experience in the financial world. And then you have some companies that just rely on data and forget about the who, the why, right? The person. And when you put all those things together, that's our secret sauce. So will you please give me a hand for the leadership task force co-chairs? Thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, thanks, Louis. Yeah, thank you so much, Henry.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You better get home to Regan. You're on call. All right. Well, next up, it's my privilege to introduce the president of Synergy, or CEO of Synergy One Lending, Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, Terry Keneally. I'm so excited to welcome the mortgage group up here because at the end of the day, what's the emotional connection that develops or really makes a relationship flow and grow? It's that home. If you can help put somebody into their home, there's not a more emotional relationship building product. So when we announced the acquisition of Synergy One and closed and welcomed that team on July 16th, that was a very, very important day. So welcome, Terry. I'm really excited to hear what's going on in the mortgage business.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Look at that guy. He can just step right up.
So I'm lucky to be joined here this afternoon by a couple gentlemen from Synergy One Lending and Retirement Funding Solutions. You guys hear me okay?
No.
Held. There we go. Okay, let's start over. So, great to be here. So I'm joined up here today by two gentlemen that you've probably heard the names, but now you get to see the pretty face that goes along with it. And this is Steve Majerus. Steve is the president of Synergy One Lending, which is the forward mortgage operation. When I say forward, that's the traditional lending, what we all think of when we think about mortgage lending. I'm also joined by Alex Pistone. Alex is the president of Retirement Funding Solutions, which is Synergy One Lending's reverse mortgage arm. So two distinct business units within Synergy One. Over the last 6 months, you've heard a lot about this company as we've made the acquisition. And today I thought, well, let's spend a little time and let's actually get to know more about their business and what they do and maybe some of the products that they're able to offer our clients. So we're going to start with Alex here, but before I do, who in the audience has heard of or knows what a reverse mortgage is? Okay, that's maybe half the crowd. Yeah, not bad. So my guess is that some of you might have misperceptions about what the product is. So we thought we would spend a little bit of time here. I say we, meaning Alex, he's the expert. But Alex, you saw the show of hands. There's certainly a need to educate the general public, our associates, about what a reverse mortgage really is, and then also maybe some of the misperceptions that the general public has around reverse mortgage. So could you do that for us?
I'd be happy to, Terry. Thank you. I think before I do, I just want to say that my employee experience so far has been amazing. Been here, I think, on the 6th month. Very proud to be part of this organization. It's a brand that I respect. It's an iconic brand. It's going to do wonders for our business, I believe. But more than that, it's really the people behind the brand. I've had an opportunity for really about the last year and a half to get to know a lot of the senior leadership team, and quality and character of the folks within this organization is just impressive. So happy to be here. So to answer the question, before I got in this business of reverse mortgage about 12 years ago, if you pulled me off the street and asked me what I thought it was, I would say, well, that's that loan where the bank takes your house, right? Give you a little bit of money today, but they take your house from you after you pass away. By show of hands, who thinks or has thought that in the past? Real quick. So it's about as many people as raise their hand for your question, Terry. So I'm here to tell you that that is not what a reverse mortgage is. Okay? Now, every misconception, or not everyone, but some misconceptions are rooted in some truth. In the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, those loans actually did happen. There were lenders that made those loans. They had equity share, or they actually took the house when the homeowner passed away. So some of those old programs, I think affect the way a lot of people still think about the program today. In 1989, under President Reagan, we created the federally insured reverse mortgage program. All those other programs went away, and I'm here to explain to you what the program is now that we've had for the last really 30 years. So what is a reverse mortgage? First of all, it's simply a mortgage, okay? The lender is loaning that homeowner some money and charging interest on that, okay? You have to be 62 years of age or older to qualify for the loan. There's one big difference, and that big difference is that no mortgage payments are required, okay? Now, a lot of people, when they hear that, they say, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? That sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? If you think about a traditional mortgage, the borrower, the homeowner, is making payments, principal and interest, every month for 30 years, right? And then the bank gets paid off in full over that 30-year timeline. Well, with a reverse mortgage, the bank is still charging an interest rate right now between 4.5% to 5.5%. The difference is they're just deferring the cash flow on that loan, okay? So the bank's not doing this for free. It's not doing this for charity. We're making a loan that will be paid back at some point in the future. So when is that? When you have a reverse mortgage on your home, you are still the sole owner of that house. The bank does not own the house. The homeowner owns the house. The bank is paid back when the home is sold. That could be by the homeowner themselves. They decide, I don't want to live here anymore. I'm going to sell the house. In that scenario, they pay the bank back whatever was borrowed plus interest, and the rest of the equity belongs to them. Another scenario is that homeowner might refinance, maybe back into a traditional mortgage, or maybe into a reverse mortgage, a second reverse mortgage, maybe interest rates improved. So you can refinance from a reverse into a reverse. Or a lot of times what happens is this is their forever home, and they're going to live in that house for the rest of their life. So then after they pass away, the heirs get the home, and then the heirs decide what do they want to do with it. No different than if there was a regular mortgage on the house, right? The heirs would say, do we want to keep mom and dad's house, right, and refinance into our name, or 99% of the time they want to liquidate the house. So at that point, they would liquidate that property, and the bank would be paid in full with the interest that they had charged and accumulated over that time, and the rest of the equity belongs to them. So the big misconception is the bank takes your house. I'm here to tell you that's not the way it works. The homeowner still has all rights of home ownership that they would have with a traditional mortgage.
Great. I guess, a couple of follow-up questions to that, Alex. So over the last probably, I'm going to say 6 to 7 years, there has been the government or the Department of Housing and Urban Development has made what I would say a lot of changes to the program and the product that have actually made it a more customer-friendly, a more strong and sustainable program. Can you talk a little bit about some of the changes that have occurred here over the last few years and how they impact our customers?
Sure. So HUD, makes the rules on this program, and they've made changes throughout the years to lending limits and all sorts of different things. The most recent changes there's been a couple of them. One, they've actually lowered the overall costs of a reverse mortgage. Reverse mortgages used to be more expensive on what the lenders can charge an origination fee as well as the insurance premium that HUD collects. That's gone down, and that really saves the homeowner thousands of dollars over the life of that loan. The second thing that they've done is they've instituted couple of major borrower protections. It used to be, as I mentioned, you have to be 62 years of age or older to get the loan, right? So in many cases, the spouse, there was a spouse who was actually under the age of 62. And because of that underage spouse was not on title to the home. So the problem that created then is if that older homeowner passed away, the younger spouse wasn't on title. They're basically an heir to that property. Now they have to figure out what to do with this loan. So it really put a lot of people in a bad situation. That was some of the negative press that we actually saw several years ago of people getting kicked out of their homes. So HUD came and changed the way the program works to where now even if there is an underage spouse, that person can continue to live in the home for the rest of his or her life without having to make a mortgage payment. So that was one fantastic change. The other is we are now required to take a look at the overall financial performance and health of that borrower so that we're putting people in a more suitable product and sustainable, that's going to sustain them over the long term and not just be a Band-Aid for 2 or 3 years. So I think that's been a really positive thing too now that is helping us and helping this product come more into the mainstream as we make sure that this product's going to be something that really solves whatever challenge that they're currently facing.
Okay, last question for Alex here before we move to Steve. But you know, there's the product, the reverse product can be used for a lot of different reasons, different borrower profiles, borrower types. Just like any product, it's not for everybody that's 62 or over. But can you give us, you know, kind of the snapshot of maybe what some of the borrower profiles do look like?
Sure, be happy to. So kind of one of the other misconceptions about our program is that it's really for people who are at the end of their rope and don't have any more money, right? They turn to the equity in their house. Now, while we do help some of those people, there's really 3 main groups of people that we find as our customers. The first is that person that really hasn't saved anything at all or very little. You know, 1 out of 3 retirees in the United States has 0 retirement savings. Yet they may have lived in that house for 30, 40 years, built up a lot of equity that they can use, you know, to live a respectable retirement. So there's a good chunk of that group that we can help serve. The second group is actually people who have done a really good job saving. They're well off. They've saved well in retirement. They've set themselves up nicely. That group of people takes out a reverse mortgage for a couple of different reasons. One, you know, it's not easy to save enough for maybe a 20, 30 plus year retirement, right? There's a lot of things in this world that can torpedo our plan. There's recession, there's the market's going crazy, there's war, there's all sorts of stuff, right? So it's a smart thing to set up another bucket of money that you can tap into, even if just to be there for a rainy day. But the second reason that a well-off person would want to take a reverse mortgage is there's been a lot of research done over the last several years by some large universities and some really notable financial planning types that show that if you use your housing wealth, the equity in your home, in a coordinated way with your other assets, right? A very simple way to explain it, the worst time to take money out of your portfolio is when it's down, right? We just had a down year. That's not when you want to draw on your portfolio. So there's research that's been done that says in that kind of a environment, pull money out of your house instead, and you'll actually see an increase in your overall portfolio, in your rate of return, and most importantly, in the longevity of your retirement so that you can continue to live the kind of lifestyle that you want to throughout retirement. So we got the people that haven't saved, we have the people that have saved, which is actually a growing part of our business. And then lastly, we have the people that want to move. There are statistics that show tens of thousands of people are moving each year that are seniors. The biggest reason is be closer to kids and grandkids, followed up by warmer climates and so forth. And you can actually purchase a home using a reverse mortgage. Most people didn't know that. It's that part of the program hasn't been around for 30 years. It's only been around for 10 years. But if you think about the way a reverse mortgage works, you have equity in your house, right? And you're able to get access to some of that equity. Not all of it. We're not buying their house from them, but some of it, typically about 50 to 60%. Well, with a purchase, the buyer is really putting in that equity in the form of a one-time down payment. So as an example, you have a $400,000 house that somebody 62 or over wants to buy. They come in with about $200,000. The reverse mortgage pays the other $200,000. They purchase the home. They're able to live in that home for the rest of their life without having to make a mortgage payment. I think the last thing that I want to communicate is how flexible this loan is, either refinance or purchase. Just because you don't have to make a mortgage payment doesn't mean that you can't. So most people don't know that if you want to make a mortgage payment, that's allowed. Some people, you can make a principal and interest payment and pay it off over 30 years. You can make an interest-only payment, and the loan balance will never rise. You can pay $1 or nothing, right? So it's completely up to the homeowner to decide how they want to use and treat that loan.
That's outstanding. So thank you, Alex. Give Alex here a hand. I've heard Alex educate people numerous times on this, and every time I listen to him, I learn something. So well done. And it's, I encourage you to, to look up Alex, Chris Kargakos on the team here as well if you have questions about it. But it is a very valuable product for many of our clients that could either, put them in a good position for retirement or help them to prolong and make it even a better retirement. So well done. All right, let's shift gears. Who out there is on social media? No. 4 of you, come on. Who's on social media? LinkedIn, Facebook? Okay. So if you're not following Synergy One Lending or Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, I'd encourage you to do so, because if you do, you will see the much younger, more handsome Majerus that works for Synergy One Lending. Chase Majerus is the host of a program on social media called This Week Today. Steve's son, he just does an excellent job. But I do that lead in because, Steve and I have talked a lot, and if you know much about Synergy One Lending, you'll hear Steve say how they are building the modern mortgage company and a digital mortgage company. And Steve, I'd like you to kind of explain what you mean by that and kind of some of the things that are going on at Synergy One Lending in this age with the digital age and how you're competing.
Yeah, thanks, Terry. I would echo Alex's remark over the last 6 months and the partnerships that we've developed with the Mutual Omaha Bank team far and wide, without exception, has been an incredible experience for all of us at Synergy and RFS. And it's just a great feeling to be part of the organization. And everybody, literally to the person, has been so welcoming and helpful for us during that transition. So thank you. It's great to be here. As banking has evolved, and you've undertaken a lot of great initiatives to evolve with the broader marketplace, so has the single-family mortgage business. Frankly, the consumer, largely which we're in, the consumer space, has evolved faster than a lot of our loan officers. And technology has gotten in front of them as well. So just under 2 years ago, we decided that we were a small enough company and a nimble enough company that we had an opportunity to essentially lead as we evolved as a company in developing technology and the best of our human interactions with loan officers and referral partners like realtors and their consumer clients. It is an arduous process to develop and partnerships with the technology firms, get it in the hands of our loan officers, now over 500 strong across the country, and get them to create new habits in bringing the best of that technology and marrying that with their skill set in relationship management and their knowing their craft and the details of the mortgage business, and developing a client experience that stands out among a lot of people. We do our comparisons, a bunch of brown cows, and we're a purple cow in the space today. But you can't do that on sizzle alone. As we've developed this and really carved out our niche around social media, video, and then the best of our professionals throughout the country, we are headed toward this evolution and really developed a brand, if you will, as small as Synergy One is, a brand for people. While we've been small, they know what we're all about. They know that we have our eyes on the horizon, and in developing the client experience through a tech stack, if you will, partnerships with technology solutions integrated with the best of our people, can really differentiate and really convert people to Synergy One and to Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. One example is a primary example is our mobile application. The technology and the experience that we can deliver at the point of sale to consumers and in conjunction with realtors is a standout solution. The adoption of our loan officers throughout the country is among the best of our partners that we know of. The number of loan documents, whether it's documentation of some sort, verifying employment and income and assets that takes to qualify, we uploaded over 3,500 documents in December alone, and that number is growing ever more so. I expect that to be by April over 10,000 in a given month. So again, it reemphasizes the point that consumers are already ready for this. They're asking for this, and that in combination with the best of our professionals, we think we can really scale the opportunity that's in front of us in a dislocating market. I'm sure most of you know Quicken Loans at this point. They are the #1 lender in the country. They are also, their DNA is an online lender. Most people are used to now doing business or obtaining a mortgage that way. And what's ironic is at our stage of our development, we can compete with them with similar technology, but we think, given that we've got boots on the ground in so many markets throughout the country, that we can do better over time. Now, it's not an imputed goal that we compete with them in terms of scale, but we know that we can deliver on par with them in terms of the client experience that we can provide. So when you think about digital and video and deployment and the changing marketplace in the single-family home business, we think we can deliver something that is that you can get best in class anywhere.
Thanks, Steve. Shifting gears a little bit, so on the town hall call maybe a month ago, we talked a little bit about the growth that Synergy One Lending has experienced. And as I look at that, rough numbers, a year ago within the bank, we had 50 people in the mortgage operation. When we acquired Synergy One Lending in July, we had 600. Now we have 1,200. So a lot of that growth obviously has come with the opportunity for the team from BBMC to join Synergy One Lending. That entire team has come over under the Mutual of Omaha Mortgage label and name. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the strategy going forward, how you leverage that brand, what that looks like, where there's locations? Just talk a little bit about the growth that's occurred over the last, really 7-8 weeks, I guess. Yeah.
So Terry and I, after we integrated with the bank and thought we were settling in a little bit, we're presented with an opportunity to acquire BBMC Mortgage from Bridgeview Bank based out of Chicago. So Terry and I found ourselves in Chicago for a couple of weeks, putting that transaction together and more than doubling the size of the head count in our company and more than doubling the size of our volume. What was so complementary and opportunistic, something we couldn't pass up, was there very little overlap geographically between BBMC and our company. So it was very complementary that way and got us deeper into the Midwest and other markets that were really attractive for us going forward. And the other key component was they have a consumer direct model, and they have niches in the online space that they've not perfected, but they're a significant player in. And as you think about a distributed retail channel, which was what we call our branches all over the country, as well as an online presence via now through Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, we think because of the iconic brand that is Mutual, along with the delivery structure that we've developed in social media, video, and our delivery and putting it in the hands of the BBMC team, we think really the sky is the limit. And it really has opened, it'll be a lot more opportunities for us into 2019 and beyond, because this segment, the online consumer direct space, is only going to grow more in the future. There is so much more maturation still to be done in delivering things to the consumer in the online space, and a lot more of the client experience in terms of electronic delivery in real time, providing clients feedback right at the point of sale, really in a close to instant way on a vast majority of the loans that are done in single-family mortgages by 2020, 2022. It's right around the corner. The good news is we kind of had a head start among our peers because of the DNA that we invested in 2017 and 2018. And it was a single-minded focus along with the opportunity within the consumer direct space with Mutual Omaha Mortgage now. I think we're going to see Mutual Omaha Mortgage in a much broader sense, in a much more regular basis in the consumer area that is going to really exciting for us to take advantage of. So that was really the reason we couldn't pass it up and why we end up now digesting all of those things during 2018. And I'll knock on wood. Hopefully we settle in for a little bit and perfect this and make the most of it.
Very good. Thanks, Steve. So before we turn it back to Dwayne, the one last thing we really want to touch on is last month on the call we teased a little bit about an employee loan program. As we talk about the EX, the employee experience, we've spent a lot of time really, since July talking about let's build an employee loan program that really has some sizzle and some benefit to all of you and to all of our associates throughout this company. So we've got a video here. Barry, can you play that for us?
Mutual of Omaha Mortgage is excited and proud to announce that we will provide you with a special home loan service available to you thanks to the recent acquisition of Synergy One Lending.
As our fellow employees, we will provide an easy and speedy process and discounted loan pricing that you would only expect from a family member.
We also have a dedicated concierge team solely dedicated to your loans.
We look forward to serving you and your family wherever and whenever you need a trusted home mortgage teammate.
To get started on this terrific family benefit, please use the mobile app on this email or call 800-998-4000.
All right, very quickly, guys, give us just a little bit more detail around what the employee loan program looks like as far as concierge service rates, the benefits to the team here.
Yeah, at least on the forward mortgage side, there's a specific rate discount. In fact, in the next day or two, you'll probably see it on Associates Access. We'll be posting rates daily there that you'll be able to track and connect directly to our concierge team in Omaha. It'll go directly to them. You'll get a taste of what the electronic experience is all about in delivering that. You can expect that that's going to be probably 50 basis points or a half a point below market consistently, as well as this is substantial reduction in lender fees that is material. So again, you'll see this in the next day or two, a lot of things we're about to cut loose with, so something we're excited about.
Good, thanks. And Alex, for those that are 62 and older and might be interested in a reverse mortgage, there's also benefits that are coming as well.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that this was a real benefit, something better than you can get anywhere else. So what we're coming out with is 0.5% off the interest rate, off of our lowest interest rate. So something that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else in the marketplace, which does two things. It provides a bigger pot of money that you have access to, but it also saves tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. That's open to friends and family as well. So we wanted to open it up to everyone.
Very good. Thanks, guys. Give these two a hand, and I'm going to turn it back to Dwayne.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. So we have about 1,100 associates in the mortgage group, so reach out, get to know them. Again, it's such a great relationship-building product that is so important in our strategy. So thank you, gentlemen, for your leadership, and welcome the Synergy One and the BBMC Mortgage Associates. So walk with me back through time. Imagine yourself 12 years ago, 5 days, and you're employee number one on the Mutual of Omaha campus with a plan and a vision to create a banking company across the nation. At the time, there were 7,200 banks, and we were 7,200th largest. But after over 10 years, that vision and that plan now results in the top 150 or the top 2.5% of all banks. It's my privilege to help welcome employee number one, our founder, fearless leader, chairman, CEO, Mr. Jeffrey Schmidt. Welcome.
Well, good afternoon. Yeah, right there. That's great. Thanks. Appreciate you doing that, guys. You know, these are interesting chairs, aren't they? I thought if I was going to sit in that one, I needed a telephone, a candle, and a brandy snifter of Cavassier. What's that guy's name on Saturday Night Live? The Ladies' Man. Yeah. It's like, it's either that or it's the chair from Beetlejuice. Remember that chair on Beetlejuice? Well, welcome back from 2018, everyone. By the way, I'm 18 months from getting a reverse mortgage, just so you know. Yeah. In fact, it's amazing. Is it just my imagination, or is everyone migrating from the Midwest down to this office? This thing gets bigger and bigger every year. But I do know one person that's migrated from the Midwest who is a proud homeowner here as of about 100 days ago, and that's my wife, Amy. Where are you, Amy? Why don't you stand up and, yeah. So the simplest thing I tell my friends that are 62 or over is the reverse mortgage ends up being like a second to die annuity. And so, look at her, she's going to live till she's about 120 for sure. She's starting to introduce me as her first husband. But later on when we're having cocktails, why don't you go say hi to her? Maybe she'll invite you up. She has a rooftop pool now down by Old Scottsdale. Maybe she'll invite you to that. The other thing, I can't let this day go by without, we have a newly minted doctor in the room, PhD. Mr. Tom Engblom. Stand up, Tom. It's like reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. What is the sum of the isosceles triangle is the division of the... Guy's very smart. I mean, if you think about being a lifelong learner, I mean, he is the man. And probably as we start to have a Hall of Fame, a Mutual of Omaha Bank, where we start having bronze busts of things, Tom Engblom is probably the most successful person in the HOA space in the entire United States. I mean, Tom, you do a great job. Congratulations. So I tell you what, every time I get up here, I think about the past 12 months and now the past 12 years. It's just amazing. I'm so proud of all of you. I just have to pinch myself when I see how we're growing, what we're doing. I mean, some of the, it's just not in the financials. It's the energy, it's the power of what you're creating for me that's, and for all of us, for this organization that just makes me, I can't tell you, I can't imagine living a different existence the last 12 years. I mean, think about it. This organization was really an infinitesimal part of a 110-year-old insurance company 12 years ago. This past year, we'll be 25% of Mutual of Omaha's entire earnings base. If you think about it, if you look back in history, the bank today, it's almost $10 billion. We started a journey 12 years ago to build a $2 billion bank. Today, it's almost $10 billion. The bank's larger in total assets than Mutual of Omaha had total assets in 1990, and which just is quite an amazing financial story, and it really is to your credit that we've been able to accomplish this. The other thing we've done is this whole double-double thing this year. We've gotten to the double-digit returns, which is really rare air in the business parlance. I mean, we hit about that 10% ROE number for 2018, and that's double what it was 3 years ago. And not only that, but we doubled our associates. I mean, it's fascinating to me. Back in July of 2008, we welcomed about 1,000 people to the organization in a room just like this in Arizona. And almost exactly 10 years later, we welcomed the Synergy Group with another 1,000 associates in that whole mix. And not many organizations can pull that off. And so I really do appreciate Roseanne's team, the logistics team, all the team in Synergy that helped pull the BBMC thing together. I mean, I could sit up here for a couple hours just kind of going through the process of all these wins that we've had in 2018. But I won't do that because the bar's already open. I kind of took a peek, so. What I want to do, it's interesting, this whole CX-EX thing, I do believe that is the chemistry and the secret sauce to our future. Trying to understand each other, trying to understand our client, trying to understand how we make that connection, that is the value add of things. Otherwise, we're just a kind of another commodity in a big space. And so many of you know that know me, I keep getting more and more obsessed about understanding behaviors of people, trying to pick great people that are really aligned well with what we're trying to do. Getting feedback from them that says, look, I really think I found my place here professionally. And that's so important to the way I'm wired and to the way our leadership team is wired. So this EX-CX thing is a big deal to me, but I'm also really interested in demographics and generational demographics. So we're going to do a little quick exercise. It'll be fun. But I've got a couple millennials in our family, Abby and Bobby, 28 and 30. And I asked my daughter, who's a very successful media person in Kansas City with a company called VML. I mean, all she does is try to figure out, her two biggest clients are Pop-Tarts and Sky Vodka. So our entire pantry is filled with Pop-Tarts and Sky Vodka. Fabulous way to live your life on those two things, you know. It'll be awesome for about a month, and then it'll be over. But I asked her, I said, Abby, help me out. I've got these really engaged folks that I love and respect. Give me some sense of how the millennial is wired, because not only are we hiring more, and if you think about the numbers in the millennial sector, by 2020, 48% of our associates will be in that millennial generational group. So she did a nice job for me, and it was kind of interesting. She said, look, Dad, this is what I would put in a resignation letter for an employer that I really didn't connect with as a millennial. But before we do that, I want to do a quick survey. There's really three big generational groups in this room today, and I want to get a sense of how many are in each. So what I'd like to do is have the baby boomers stand up first. That'd be anybody from 54 up. Stand up. We're going to get a little exercise in our legs. Okay, so everybody take a look at these folks. They won't be around much longer. Here's what I love about these folks, because I am one. There's wisdom in this group, okay? They've experienced, these are people you want to get next to when you want to try to figure out this journey you're on, this professional journey. They've got things that you would love to know, I guarantee you. And also they're so important to the fabric of this organization because of that wisdom. And you took a look at them, they're probably one of the most beautiful group of people I've ever seen. So the next group is this Gen X group. So if you're 38 to 53, go ahead and stand up. Wow. Okay, so you probably know many of these folks. What I love, stay standing, because I want them to see you. Because this is what I love about this crowd. This is really where the peak performance gets going. These people have they've been educated, they've really kind of paid dues, and now they're really at that peak performance area. This is where they're making a move. It's so important that this bank have this group of people in its organization, because that's where you get some of these financial numbers. It's where you get some of this emotion and excitement about the work itself. So another just fabulous looking bunch of people. Thank you. Okay, so the last group's what's left, millennials. So go ahead and stand up. Wow. Gosh, I used to have skin that nice. Dang, gummit. So good. I really love this crowd. And here again, almost half of our team is going to be made up of this group. And it is an amazing group. And I'm going to give you some sense of why, we might think we're a bridge too far from this crowd, but we're really not, and I'm going to show you why. So to you youngsters, go ahead and sit down. Thank you. Big round of applause. So these are the 4 things I thought were fascinating about, what connects us to each other. Because frankly, as different as we might think, we're pretty damn much the same. And here's why. So this was the first thing that my daughter put in her resignation letter, and it says, you tolerate low performance. So what's interesting about the millennial group is, man, they want, things like this. They're the technology folks. It's like, let's get this done. Let's get this client help. I mean, the urgency in this crowd is amazing. And they will tend, if you tend to kind of house folks that just aren't up to the task, don't have the energy for the work, you'll be at risk for keeping this group. And I think that's probably true of our culture. I mean, the folks in this room have done things that, frankly, as a leader here, I would say are inhuman. I mean, the changes we've asked you to make over the last 10 or 12 years is really not fair. But you've grasped it, and you've really dealt with it, and here we are, one of the most successful, best growing banks in the country. So I thought that was interesting, that. The second one is, return on investment is not enough for me. Now, I thought that was amazing information. What that says is, how can I make a difference to our client, to our customer? The millennial group wants to know, I want to make a difference, all right? It's that, purposeful thing. What am I doing here every day that's making a difference to someone that I care about, client or my friend that I work with? And so, I don't know anybody in this room or in this company that doesn't think about that. What is it that I can do to make a difference? And I really am proud of this millennial crowd that that's important to them. The third one is, this is really awesome. Culture is more than a free Panera. So here again, this gets back to what Dwayne said. If you want a beanbag and a scooter to run around the Cotton Center with, let me know. Might be able to figure that out. But frankly, in most cases, it's not that simple. It says that I'm not inspired to be more innovative over a bacon turkey Bravo, okay? Probably true, right? I mean, there's got to be more to this work than just that. And frankly, we'll talk about it here in just a second, what it is. And then it's okay to get personal. I think that's a misconception about the millennial. A lot of reasons that is because they're so attached to their devices. But frankly, this crowd really wants to understand who the client is. How can I make a purpose for me if I understand who you are as a coworker and who our client is? So the moral of that is get connected. Get connected emotionally and from an alignment standpoint with what you're trying to do. With each other or with your client. Find out where that path is. You might not deal directly with the client, but I guarantee everybody in this room is dealing either directly or indirectly with the client. So it really is about, they're desperate for them to show me that the work that they do here matters. And so I don't think there's anything that separates us generationally from each other, because I think from a cultural standpoint, we all believe in most of what this has to say. So hopefully someday you'll meet she's the most beautiful, the smartest daughter that ever was made, Abby Schmid. So meet her sometime, say hi. Okay, so I'm going to end this thing with a couple observations. Do I have a clicker here? Oh, well, come on, bring it on up. Oh, I guess you could have. Yeah. So I really wanted to be a graphic artist when I went to school. But sadly, the first test I got a 37 out of 100, and this is why. This is my graphic artistry to really try to understand this whole thing about who we are. So let's look. The circle on the left is called. I didn't make this up. This is Simon Sinek, I think. Simon Sinek. So. If I could ask you to do anything today as you go forward the next week or two, get onto YouTube and put in the golden circle. So what the Golden Circle, it's really a simplified way to try to figure out who we are and why do we do the things that we do. And then really try to understand what our business is doing. Because if you're not attached to the purpose of what we're trying to accomplish, you'll get frustrated. And frankly, in the short or long run, we will part ways. There has to be something more than just a paycheck that gets you up in the morning to do this stuff. So this is really kind of cool. The outer ring is the what. Everybody has the what. Every bank in the world has a checking account that they offer to people. It's all the minutia, all the products, all the things that rotate inside an organization. That's the what, the things that we're trying to put in people's toolbox to have a better life. Everybody has it. It's all commodity. There's no differentiator in the what. And so if that's all there is to it, we're done. We're out of business. There isn't anything to differentiate us in that outer circle. So that's what we do as bankers. We have to be good at it, but frankly, everybody else is pretty good at it too. Then we go to the how. Okay, now you're starting to get a little sizzle in this thing. The beauty of Mutual of Omaha Bank is that they don't have something we have. That's you. That's not only the people here, but it's also we have a differentiated structure. We have a relationship-driven kind of thing around what we do versus just trying to sell commodities. Let's say like a Netflix or something like that. So, but this is what the how is where it starts to translate into the relationship focus that we have as a bank. And then the last greatest thing is why. You know, why are you here? Why do you do this? You know, it's a legit question. I ask myself that every once in a while. I love the banking business. You know that those of you who have been around me know that if done well, this business matters. It matters to people that are trying to finance homes. It matters to people that are trying to build business. Hell, it matters to people that just want to pay their bills. This business can matter. It's why I do it. The beauty of this business is it can be very conducive to relationship making between each other and to our client. And that's why our purpose statement states we are a relationship bank. That's not a thinly veiled marketing statement. It's what matters. And frankly, think about it in the context of all the external stuff that goes on. Be the government shutdown, be the big brand we're in, be whatever it is, the economy, the international conflict. None of that, it matters, but frankly, in the context of things, it's about the relationship we're developing with each other and with our client. Pure and simple. And you can take away all the noise if you understand why you're doing this and in what way. So to kind of take this one more circle farther, then you go into the blue circle. And you start to really define the how in the structure of who we are. The middle of our circle is really relationships with businesses. That's really where the sweet spot is in what we're doing. We leverage that relationship with private banking transactions with people, investment advisory, private mortgages, all the things that you need to run your household is really the private. And then the last thing is the mortgage business. We made a big investment in the mortgage business, obviously. Doubled our people staff in the mortgage space. So that's an entry vehicle in the what to get you into Mutual of Omaha Bank. It's a perfect entry vehicle. It always will be. So I just want to thank you for the things that you do. What you have my commitment and promise that as we kind of talk with each other over 2018, the one thing that we still got to pick up our pace on is communication. We got to do more of this whole conversation of the whys and the hows. We gotta have you understand how you make connection with clients, how we have a culture that is actually better than any other bank culture in the marketplace. And we're going to try like hell to do that. Every year we get better at it. So I just want to say to you, I'm so proud of what you do. I'm so proud of your commitment I'm so happy you're here. And I just want you to continue to try to figure this out. And frankly, if it's not here, let us help you find out where it can be. Go find one of those old folks in that baby boomer group and pick their brain, their shriveled up brain. Yeah. Oh. So on behalf of Amy and I, new homeowners in Scottsdale, Arizona, hope to see you more here. And on behalf of our friends at Synergy One Lending, our new partners, on behalf of all the things we're doing, Tom, super smart guy, PhD, he got more degrees than a thermometer now. The information technology thing, I'm really excited about the next 2 or 3 years of that. How do we deliver that? And I will promise you, we'll have more conversations about what relationship and communication with each other can do on behalf of our client and each other. So with that, Happy New Year, and we're adjourned. Thank you.